Morning, everyone. I'm back at the rewire job that I started a few weeks back. I've done a day here, done one room. There's literally one room ready for second fix. Pendants, etc. Light switches, sockets, aerial point, double sockets. Yeah, basic second fix. A little bit changed in here actually. So I wired a 3-gang switch. One switch was going to do 1 and 2 pendants. One switch was going to do 1 pendant. The other switch was going to do that pendant, hence 1 cable at each. And then that switch there was going to do, see that cable there, some LEDs in here, which is staying. So now we've got to change it around. I've made that middle switch is going to do 2 lights that are actually going to hang either side of the bed. And then the client's going to put some smart bulbs in that he can control with Alexa. So we just got to wire a cable between here. But I've just heard in the loft. Yeah, I've just heard in the loft. I don't know if you remember, I'll put a picture here. This was in the loft. There's tons of birds up there, so I ain't going up there. I've actually got to do some loft lighting. I was going to do that today, but that ain't going to happen because they're going to have to get the birds all cleaned out before I really want to go up there because, I don't know, what is up there basically. I think it's pigeons, but I'm not sure. So my one gripe about the lights without the lamps you can change. I've had so many callbacks now. I'm just refusing to fit lights that the client can't maintain because I'm fed up with going back to have to change a whole light. So from now on, I've made a decision. The only lights that I'll fit that have had any reliability are the downlights. Any other lights like the strip lights. Client rings me up and says, Chris, the lamp's gone already, we can't change it. I'm like, yeah, you can't change it. It's you can't change that. So from now on, what we're going to do in lofts, I've always just some batten holders, and I'm just going to stick some LED lamps in for now. And then at least if they go, the client can change those. So I'll put 2 or 3 lights in. I was going to do it 2 or 3 lights through this loft, but as I said, the pigeons are up there. I can't go up there. So what we do today, we got a couple of downlights to do here and a couple of downlights to do in the bathroom that the plumber's got on with. It's actually a nice job. He said he sealed this last night so I can put a dust sheet on here and I can walk on that, and I think he started to grout, so that's fine. I can put our 2 downlighters in there. I can do the light switch, the socket and the fan isolator, and I can also second fix the shaver socket there. So it's a little bit to get on with. I'll set you up on the camera and I will stop it at any point if we need to discuss. And obviously that's a smoke detector which I haven't got yet, so that'll just stay like that for now. But as you can see, the other rooms have still got this horrid green because with the lockdown and stuff, British that's dust, by the way. British gypsum shut, and they've not managed to get any plaster. So this room's not been done, this room's not been done, and the whole of downstairs. So this is where we're at. So let's crack on. As you can see there, I've got a fuse box ready, RCBO board, got loads of bits, so yeah. Right, just showing you this switch that's gonna do 2 towel rails and 2 towel rails, 2 downlights, so I got some else on my mind. 2 downlights, 1, 2, and a fan. The fan's going to be, what the hell is that gonna? Yeah, the fan's going to be located in the centre. So got 2 downlights. So we got a feed in and a feed out here. I'll mark these up as I go, as I always do. Got a feed in, a feed out, switch line and neutral to do the lights, and then this is the fan that wires through here and then goes off to the fan. And then what I do now, some clients don't, if they're in the bath, this hasn't got a bath, but they don't like the fan on all the time, so I put them a switch here so they can turn it on and off on its own, and then it'll also have an overrun timer as well, so if it does come on and they turn both of these off, it will still run for 5 minutes, whatever, to clear the steam away, okay? Just a couple of little tips when second fixing. When you cut these, mark up here in a permanent marker what they are. Just helps you if you've got to come back, or the next guy. Also, if you're doing lighting points, bend these 2 tabs down that you don't need, because there's your adjustable lug there, and there's your fixed lug. And also clean out any rubbish. It just looks and feels a lot better, yeah. Hope you can hear that. Birds. That literally sounds like there's a new nest of birds up there, because I've just knocked the hatch and I've just seen 2 pigeons fly off, so they've obviously buggered off, and the little chicks are in the nest in the loft still. Yeah, I almost forgot to show you the lights that I've bought. The client wanted to fit his own lamp, so I've not gone for the integrated LEDs on this one, because the client wanted to fit his own lamps, as I just said. So I bought some downlighters, Aurora, these little ones here. Okay, fire rated. Let's hope they are. If you're watching GSH's eFixie type videos, he sort of likes to have a little rant about downlights at the minute, so I'm hoping these ones are the correct ones. Steel construction. There's your intramiscent strip, because this isn't an IP65 light. That's your intramiscent gasket.
No, it isn't.
It's not a gasket there as such because of the heat. So yeah, connections in there is what it is. And then I also bought 2 IP65, should be here in the same. They just literally got the, oh come on, they literally got the bezel on there just to give it the IP rating for the bathroom there. Is what it is. Maybe I'll be converted to using these in the future. Save me callbacks. If any integrated LEDs go, the client can change the lamps themselves. If I like the output, you never know. We'll see, eh? I get quite a lot of questions about these automatic wire strippers, people struggling with them. Honestly, these are so easy to use. Look, let me just show you one-handed how easy they are to use. Look, I'm not really sure where people are going wrong with them, to be fair, but that was quite easy, wasn't it, to be fair. It's pretty standard for me now is a single insulated cable stranded with a ferrule to earth the back box, okay? Again, trying to do it one-handed, but you get the idea. That just crimps that for you. And then, as I said to you when I was first fixing, always try and get your earthing lug in the bottom corner. This is a lot easier to see and connect, otherwise you've got to try and get up in the air and try and mess about, so that's pretty easy, isn't it? That goes in there, like so. Just tighten them up. Bring them to the same level as you want. Snip, snip, snip. Job's a good one. That's what I do. I don't double these over because we've got 2 going in there, and effectively that's a 5mm cable. So you wouldn't bend over a 6mm, would you? It's adequate. And then we also wouldn't. We also bend them over because they're single. So if you put those 2 together, they're like a 1.5, so that'll make a 3mm. So if you double them over, you're effectively going to be making sort of a 5mm, 4.5mm, 5mm cable, whatever it is, 6mm cable, okay? And then on these sockets that I use, the click, you do get the dual earth as standard. So you can put the earth of that in with those if you want, or if you want to put it in the other one, you just crack on and put it in the other one. It does not matter one bit. Go on, everyone's thinking, how long can you talk about one socket for? Last tip, when you've second fixed your earths with the sleeve in, when you've done that, just give them a little pull, and that will just tell you whether you've bit down on the sleeving or not. Look, that one hasn't, and that one hasn't. You can see both coppers, yeah? So you know you've bitten down on the copper. Just cover it up like that, and then just wrap them neatly in there. I took the earth to that one. It's all neat, just keep them like that. It's no rush. If you're on a price on a new build, I know they sort of say, you've got 2 minutes to do these, but just take your time, do it neat, because one little mistake here can throw all your testing out. If you know, trust me, you don't want any of these touching anything that's going to cause any problems with your insulation resistance testing, okay? I have bent my tabs down. I've cleaned my box out, marked up the cable, spots and fan, and then the fantastic thing about these click mode is they're quick connect. I'm only joking, I'll show you how to do it. So we got a feed in, feed out blues. That's the, sorry, feed in, feed out, and you can see spots there, okay? That's gonna do 2 spotlights in the ceiling, so that blue is the neutral. Those 3 go in a Wago, Vargo, depending on what part of the country you're from. And that's the fan. So we've got a free call for the fan. We'll have a switch live and a permanent live and a neutral. So we flag up the grey as the blue because we don't want to associate the neutral with the old colours of the black. So we use that as a permanent or a switch. Either of those you can use as a permanent or switch, and we use the grey as the neutral, so they'll go together. We're going to put some sleeving on there, and then here we're going to have a feed in, a feed out, which incidentally goes up into the loft, okay? It's going to do a loft light and then on to the next switch, next bedroom, whatever. All the earths are going to terminate into the back box there, because we want these screws to have an earth connection when they're screwed into the box, even though these ones have the little covers. We're going to earth those screws there by earthing this back box, and then the fan is going to have its own switch line, and then the spotlights are going to have their own switch line, which is there, okay? Very simple. I will show you it once I've connected it up. Right, as you can see there, I've got my grey with the blue on, because that's going to be a neutral. And then just another little trick, obviously there I've got my black, which is flagged up as a brown, because it's going to be a live conductor. And then here, just a little trick. You're saying, Chris, why have you got brown on brown? Because that's just showing me that these 2 are going to be my switch wires, okay? It's as simple as that. I know it is, you know it is, but just if you put a little flag on there, if there was no writing on these, at least you know that that isn't a feed, it's a switch line, okay? Look, that's the difference, right? Bit of advice. Love these little Wago miniature connectors for light switches, because look how skinny that is. It doesn't take up any room in your box. All the earths are in there, and you want to see the earth. You've got 4 earths coming into there. You want to see 4 strands down the back there, nice and tight. And then anything that's going to be in its, so that's a switch wire, that's a switch wire. Anything that's going to be on its own wants doubling over. And then effectively these are all feeds. So you'd go into one switch, into the other switch, and then put a link between, and then you just double up with the fan permanent on the bottom of the switch there. Right, last but not least, you can see there our feed cable comes into the top of the switch, which is a common. I've then cut a little piece of cable, folded it over. That then carries it along there and then goes off on that cable and goes where elsewhere. And then all we do is we double up the fan permanent feed, which will give the fan the function to overrun. That just goes in there, and then we just tighten it up. And then as you can see, there's no copper showing on anything. Nice and neat, and we've left a bit of slack with the cables marked up for the next bloke, yeah? Find the fan isolator for the life of me. So I'm going to have to go in the van in a minute and have a look. So I'm just fitting a normal isolator, no 3 amp fuse needed, because I'm going to fit a fan. It doesn't require the 3 amp fuse, okay? So I'm just moving on to the shaver socket. Obviously you want a 48mm back box, whatever they are. I didn't have one, so I sunk a standard 25mm box in the wall, and it's built up with double plasterboard, so perfectly fine there. Going for the click. basically this is just a permanent feed in and a permanent feed out. Make sure you earth your back box with a fly lead and earth the plate. Okay, simples. And also just to note on this, I could have used a deep plasterboard box, but I didn't because these have a transformer in them and they get hot. So you don't really want a hot transformer in a plastic box, okay? It could effectively melt it. So just fit a metal one. Yeah, don't do that, Chris. That's annoying. Oh, bloody hell. Okie dokie, I've just drilled the holes out, remembering this was overboarded and plastered, so no worries there. And make sure you use your DA, DD there. I was a bit concerned about these downlights, but I've just got off the phone to Gaz, GSH Electrical, here he is. If you know this bloke, go and follow him. I just wanted to ask him about the downlights that I've got, just to confirm a couple of things about the fire rating. They're Aurora, okay? Not that one, this one, because it's going in the bathroom. It's IP65. So this piece is steel. And then if I remove that, and you look inside there, the canister is steel itself. And also this has got the added benefit of an intermittent strip in there, look. Okay, so this is perfectly fine to fit, confirmed by the man himself. And also Aurora themselves that have designed the light. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. So it's fire rated, it's got an IP rating, perfectly fine. And then we can put the GU10 LED lamps in there. So I'm gonna get on with these, very simple. Connections just in there, live, neutral and earth, okay? The 100% here, birds in that loft. I can't get my phone through here now. It's got a new phone. It's too big now to fit in there, iPhone 11 I think. There's birds. Definitely up in that loft, 100%. Tell you what, I'm quite impressed with those light fittings actually. You have a nice little seal there, sits against the ceiling. 76mm hole cutter I used. And also, you wouldn't want those clips hitting your fingers. They are bloody strong, those springs on those holding that up. So now I can just fit the white bezel and then I'll come back and put some lamps in, but obviously don't put the lamps in because when you're doing testing, you don't want to have the lamps in. So don't put the lamps in, so lamps in. I think as electricians in the UK, we're going to have to face the fact that people are going to do their own electrical work because there's no laws to say that they can't do it. Like the gas, you just can't do it. You get prosecuted, you go to prison. If you do electrical work, there's nothing comes of it. So the amount of times I go to people's houses and they've had Joe Blogs or they've done it themselves and they say, Chris, can you have a look at the lights? They're not working. And I say, well, who did them? They say, matey boy down the road, or my husband had a go. So that's kind of needs to stop. But I'm just going to show you the things that I find that are wrong and I want to show you the right way to do it. So if you're going to do it, just bloody do it the right way. Right, that there is a cord gripper, okay? That should be gripping onto the grey of the PVC, not the single insulated cables. I'm just going to show you what we find all over the country when we come around, not slating anyone, but bathroom fitters, handymen, etc., okay? This is what I see constantly, okay? This is not what you want. This is classed as a single insulated cable outside of an enclosure, okay? And you're lucky even if they do the cord grip, all that cover. A lot of the times these are missing. You just have like loose connectors in there which are live. So we don't want to see this anymore. We want this to be inside the cord grip. I'll show you now. So it probably took me literally a minute to do that. It wasn't hard. The cables are connected in correctly. They're nice and tight. The cord gripper's holding the cables, biting down on the actual grey sheath there, and the cover's on, it's screwed on, and we're ready to just install that now into the hole. Yeah, so we want to see this from now on, not that up there.